Transformers, pointless to the plot.
I'm glad you can make it today. It is I, Bobby, and welcome to Red Engine Reviews. Now, Transformers is a toy franchise that I think needs no introduction. You all know what it is, and you'll know there's many cartoons from different eras of the show. However, most people are drawn to Prime, or animated, or the live-action movies, whereas I am personally drawn to one of the most I'm familiar with. Did I word that right? Anyways, what am I talking about, you ask? I'm talking about Transformers Rescue Bots. This is one of the more modern eras of the show from the 2010s. However, for some reason, despite it spanning 4 seasons, I've hardly seen anyone really talk about it on the internet. So today, I'm gonna give my own 10 cents on what I think of Transformers Rescue Bots, and why, in my opinion, it is an underrated and forgotten gem of the Transformers franchise. So in the words of Heatwave, let's roll to the rescue as we take a look at Transformers Rescue Bots.
Cody to guide them and show them the way. Rescue bots will be saving the day. Roll to the rescue.
So, the story of Transformers Rescue Bots follows the story of Rescue Force Sigma-17, which consists of 4 rescue bots, those being Heatwave, Chase, Boulder, and Blades. These 4 were in stasis for a long time before being awakened by Optimus Prime and sent to Earth to help out the people of the technology-advanced island of Griffin Rock. They're led by Chief Charlie Burns and work alongside his children, those being Cade, Cody, Graham, and Danny. And throughout each episode, the bots are either dealing with a serious mission, worrying about the human world, or having to face off against an antagonist. Now, you may be surprised to hear this, but there are no Decepticons in the show. Yeah, surprisingly, there are no Decepticons in a show about Transformers. So, that leaves you to wonder, who exactly is the antagonist of that show? Well, we'll get to him. Anyways, now, every season I think seems to have some sort of ongoing storyline throughout the episodes, but luckily it isn't too ambitious that you need to watch it in a specific order like something in Steven Universe, or some other show that I'm unaware of. Excuse me, I got a coffee cake piece in my mouth, I think. Okay, Season 1 is mostly about the bots learning about the human world and doing their usual emergencies and adventures. Season 2 has a small plot about the return of the villain. Season 3 has many small plot lines, including stuff about the villain again, the introduction of High Tide, Blur, and Salvage, and the introduction of the Dinobot forms. And Season 4 is an ongoing plot involving stuff with the new training center for the Rescue Bot recruits. So yeah, you can see there is a lot to look forward to if you were to ever watch the show. But enough about the story, let's get on to the characters. To start off with the characters, we're going to obviously take a look at Rescue Force Sigma-17, starting with Heatwave. And given by his name, he is a fire truck robot and tends to be quite tempered a lot of the time. Despite that, he is still very good. He is still a very good team leader and is loyal to his partners and Optimus. And that's why I like Heatwave. He just tends to be like 2 sides of a coin. Like, one moment he's just a chill old dude, and then the next he's like raging out and crazy or whatever. Next up is Chase. Chase is a police bot and usually looks through the law and rules when going through a topic. He usually doesn't understand some things about human life, but is still very helpful in emergencies. And I like when Chase usually uses like every complex definition in the dictionary to try to explain something, almost as if he's Bakerloo from Underground Ernie. Does anybody even watch that show? Then we have Boulder, who is a bulldozer bot and kind of the gentle giant of the team. He's very interested in human life and finds the world to be very beautiful inside no matter what happens. And that's why I like him. He's such a chill. He's once again a chill dude, and I just love him for that. He doesn't seem to really have any type of serious bone in his body. And then finally there's Blades, who's the helicopter bot and is kind of a bumbling buffoon of the team. He usually tends to not enjoy flying due to his fear of heights. However, despite that, is still tending that. Give me a sec. However, despite his several fears, he still tends to be a very helpful member of the team. And I think I mainly like Blades because, well, obviously due to his cowardly personality and how comedic he sometimes ends up being. Now, beyond Sigma 17, there's also a few other bots in town. There's the hotshot race car Blur, who tends to look out for himself most of the time, but is still a good rescuer. There's Salvage, the recycling truck robot, who usually enjoys crafting things with garbage and scrap. We also have Quick Shadow, who's a spy car robot and tends to be very sassy a lot of the time, and also extra brownie points because she's British. And finally, we have Servo, who is High Tide's assistant puppy robot. Anyways, and there's also Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, High Tide, and Sideswipe in this show, but they don't really appear much and tend to not do much when they're on screen, but when they do, it's always a treat. Now, we can't forget the humans as well, like the Burns family. There's Chief Charlie Burns, a single father and police chief of Griffin Rock, who usually just tries to keep his family under control. Cody, who is the head of the command center and the titular human protagonist that we mostly follow. Cade, the show-off and sassy fireman, who still has a heart of gold in his body. Graham, the insecure but smart engineer, who is just a joy to watch, mainly because sometimes he's smart, but then sometimes he's a buffoon, I don't know. And Danny, the, pilot, woman? I don't know, honestly.
Was I just insulted?
And there's also Doc Rena as daughter Frankie, who are the most prominent secondary characters and run the Griffin Rock Lab. And they're also very comedic. Like, seriously, so many of these characters have so many comedic moments and personality that it's hard to differentiate them with just one single character trait. It's like Chuggington or Bob the Builder. Anyways, the characters don't stop there. There's also Professor Baron Nova, Marilusky, Huxley Prescott, Mrs. Niederlander, Taylor, Milo, Mr. Harrison, and many more. Like, seriously, the town of Griffin Rock is littered with so many well-known characters with good, well-known personalities. And you may be wondering who the antagonist is. Is it a Decepticon? Well, we already told you no. Well then, who is the antagonist?
And the answer would be me, Dr. Morocco.
Let me just say how much I love this guy. He is like one of the best animated villains out there. He's so menacing and evil for such a fun slice-of-life kids cartoon. Whenever he's on screen, you know shit's about to go down. Not to mention in Season 1, he has a stellar performance by the legendary Tim Curry. And as we all know, nobody can beat Tim Curry. And now that's enough about gushing the characters, so let's take a look at the stories. Now, the storytelling in episodes of Rescue Bots is so fascinating to me, because despite being a Transformers series, they are able to make both action-filled and slice-of-life episodes at the same time. The range in this show is just amazing in terms of episode stories. Just a recap of what goes in Season 1. The team gets introduced, a volcanic eruption happens, Blades gets to scoop claws and flying lobsters invade town, Huxley almost murders the entire island with a satellite, Blaze and Boulder, Sal, Lion, and Lemurs loose, Cody gets himself his own land vehicle, the bots raise a baby, a weather machine causes a snowstorm, the bots, Chief and Cody go on a fishing trip, Dr. Morocco comes to town and takes over the work with his Morbot. Morocco and his Morbot are then defeated. Next episode, Heatwave, Boulder, and Blades get shrunken down. The team seems very enough from the Triangle. Chief and Cody try to go on a camping trip, but the bots get into some troubles in the process. The bots and Cody get stranded on an island where they find a pirate ship and a bell. Bumblebee visits and Blades develops a crush on him. Some slime monster affects Griffin Rock. Every human gets teleported to underneath the mountain. Some ghosts invade town, which turn out to just be holograms. Chief gets into some dilemmas on his birthday. Frankie tries to film a movie with the bots. Cody becomes a superhero. And finally, the bots and Frankie get sent for a time machine, but then have to escape to an AU world where Morocco took over the island. That's a lot, isn't it? Yeah, it is. And that's only the first season. We then come to Season 2. In it, the team goes through some problems with the mobile command center. Some problems happen with a Skyforce. Cody gets aged up. Morocco returns and steals the Burns family ship. Cody and Blades get trapped in a virtual game. The whole island gets mind-controlled. Huxley attempts to make a show about the bots. Kate goes through a gremlin crisis. Graham becomes a beastly monster because of meat. We get introduced to Woodrow Burns, and the team goes through the center of the Earth with Optimus Prime coming along too. The bots have to save Graham in the dock in space, and we get introduced to the island of Misfit Tech. Some AI takes over town. Blades becomes the lad pioneer, and some buddy system malfunction. malfunctions. Cody and Graham take the team on a search for Griffin's nest. Chase becomes a detective undercover. Cody finds a dog. Heatwave gets a boat form. The team delivers bread for midwinter. Some planting robot goes crazy. Woodrow becomes a chief for a few days. Bumblebee returns. The Griffin Rock Express train goes haywire. And Morocco and Madeline Pinch brainwash the bots and try to use them to take over the island, only for them to fail. Then there's Season 3. In it, Optimus Prime gets a dino mode and it goes crazy, and it leads to some guy named Quinn Corey stealing him. Kate clones himself and the team stops a time-traveling ghost ship. Vigil returns to try and put everyone to sleep with the dome. Some bugs help Morocco rebuild the Morba and escape prison at the same time. And Graham's trying to get a girlfriend. The team body swaps. The team goes into Kate's body. Corey returns and we see more dino modes for the rest of the bots. A caveman is found on Wayward Island. Some movie monsters get transported to the real world. The bots get an appreciation week. Cody goes through a Groundhog Day-like moment. The Burns are revealed to be pirates. Tai is introduced. Jules Verne is introduced and gets rid of Morocco. Blur and Salvage get introduced and have a free episode-long arc. Servo gets some time to shine. The team tries to save an endangered species of birds. Chase gets a sprained leg and is stuck at the firehouse. Some singing contest happens in Griffin Rock, and the island gets transported to the Arctic through a teleportation crystal on a time capsule. Finally, we have Season 4, which I think takes place a few years in the first season. Let me word that again. Finally, we have Season 4, which I think takes place a few years after the third season. In this season, the bots finally reveal their identities to the island. They attempt to build a bridge for their training center. Quickshow is introduced, and she does a bit of work while also getting some advice from the team. Morocco returns as a virus in virtual Griffin Rock. Madeline Pinch returns. Evan and Miles attempt to blackmail the team. Corey's sibling attempts to steal Whiskers the lion and steals the Dinobots. Chase becomes mayor. All-Spark Day is introduced and celebrated. The team takes on part-time jobs. The train center is introduced and some mishaps happen with Alma. Blur becomes a car in a race. Woodrow befriends gorillas and Kate becomes a king. A giant pizza dough takes over the island. Bumblebee returns to a fixed voice box. The lab pioneers get a final hurrah. Some fairy tale shenanigans happen. Sideswipe appears for one episode. Madeline Pinch is defeated. The bots save Danny in space. Chief gets a broken leg just before retirement. Maven Danger visits the island, and Morocco returns one last time just around the time the teams is split up and is defeated once again. Whew! That was quite a lot, wasn't it? So now that we've gone over the characters, premise, and episodes, let's end off this video with a few other little things I enjoy about the show. Now that we've gone over the characters and the episodes, here are some other small things I enjoy about the series. The music. The music in the show is just so good, man, and has such a large variety. I mostly enjoy Season 1's music because they were done by a different composer than the other seasons, but honestly, all the music in the show is just a bop. Just take a listen. The voice acting. The voices in the show all seem so natural to me. Nobody feels like they're putting on the voice here. It's like Tugs, where it feels like it's just friends bantering at a pub like they've been friends for years. The voice actors really do know how to deliver some awesome voice work.
Optimus or no Optimus, I don't know how long I can put up with this. Ordered around. Others taking the credit. Having to pretend we're tin cans.
Well, did you see the way my partner pilots me? My controls are still sore. It's always higher, higher, faster, faster. Still, it was nice being a part of an emergency response again.
I find our chief quite competent. There is much he can teach us about Earth's law enforcement procedures.
The humans do have strange ways, but that's what makes them so interesting.
The animation. The animation, while choppy in some places, I love the style of. The way everything is drawn just feels so charming and makes the town of Griffin Rock seem so colorful. The tone. The tone in this show can either go two ways. It becomes the most action-packed thing ever. fun little few moments, or some actually intense or heart-wrenching or just heart-stopping moments.
Please remain in my line of sight, Chief. Then I can assure your safety.
Mr. Hooten said his medicine's in the bedroom. I'll be careful, partner.
Chief!
Oh. I'm okay. I found the medicine.
Come on, Dad. We're getting you to the hospital.
I'm fine. Whoa.
Anything happening?
Oh dear. I feel entirely responsible. I should never have let Chief go inside.
You know, Chief, nothing can stop him from doing his duty.
Wait, I see Cody and Danny.
Don't worry, Cody. He'll be fine.
He better be. If he isn't, well, he just better be, that's all.
I wish I tested the building's structure more thoroughly.
It's not your fault, bro.
Dad! He's coming out!
You're okay.
How are you feeling?
See? Told you he'd be fine.
Of course he's fine. Nothing could hurt that hardhead. Now get him out of here and take good care of him.
Continuity. The amount of continuity in this show is so interesting. Just a few examples include how in Family of Heroes, Cody mentions the tunnels that lead to a firehouse bunker, and that plays off in the next episode when the lava goes through the tunnels and Heatwave and Cave have to stop it before it reaches Cody. There's also the weather machine in Christmas in July, which becomes important later in Season 2 when Dr. Morocco used a prototype of it from the assault ship as the Antipodes iceberg to cause a huge storm over Griffin Rock. The Vern device is established in Season 2 finale and used, which pays off later when it's revealed to have been an invention by Morocco's old friend, Jules Verne. There's a lot of instances where continuity in this show makes you have to go back and watch several episodes. It's just so genius, man. In conclusion, Transformers Rescue Bots is one of those types of incarnations of a big franchise where you can enjoy it on its own or alongside the rest of the franchise, and I think it's very obvious as to why. This show has so much to offer, from its characters to the stories to even the littlest things like the continuity. So if you're ever interested in finding something new to watch as something in the background or just want a little bit of escapism, then feel free to give Transformers Rescue Bots a try. The full series is available on YouTube through fan uploads and the official YouTube channel. It's a series that I can guarantee you'll get a kick out of.
Round to the rescue!
With that being said, that's where I'll end it here. I have been Red Engine Bobby, and this has been another episode of Red Engine Reviews. And I thank you for watching. I swear to God, I gotta stop taking so much time with this episodes.